All right, my name is Judson Powell, and this is the fastest 15 minutes on the internet, the fastest 15 minutes on social media. And I'd like you to subscribe. I'd like you to like. And I want to keep talking about the dumbing down of the African, the dumbing down of the descendant of the African, the dumbing down of everything that we try to do. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because to me, it's one of the most important subjects that's not being discussed. And the reason why I like to talk about it is because of the fact that this is where our economic and our cultural divide comes from. And the reason is because everything good that we invent is stolen. The patents, the trademarks, everything that we invent is stolen. And I mean right now, from food to entertainment to whatever it is. And the only thing that we are allowed to have is entertainment and sports. And then even in the arenas of entertainment and sports, we don't own our own stuff. All right. So and so I'm going to use the movie Black Panther as an example. So, for example, everybody, we stormed the box office, and Black Panther was like one of the most successful movies ever in the history of Hollywood. But who made the money from it? So ask yourself, who made the money? Who got paid? Who really got paid? And it wasn't us. Yeah, we have actors now that that were moved to the forefront, and we have people, the stories and everything that's there. But the bottom line is we didn't get paid, and so what I did, and I was talking, to my wife, and I said, look, I said this thing right here is different. I was like, it's just like when we watched Roots, all right. So, Roots came out, the book came out, everybody bought the book, then everybody watched the miniseries every night, everybody was like, oh, wow, and we watched the whole thing. They even made a second Roots. And so we got shown our history from the perspective of somebody else. Those were not our stories. And then later on, we found out that the book was partially plagiarized anyway. And that, it was basically a fictitious story. A lot of it was fictitious. So, and everybody is walking around, and this stuff, all of this stuff about, we had this great movie. Well, we didn't have a great movie. Hollywood had a great movie. All the people in Hollywood got paid. Black people didn't get paid. What was regentrified in the black community? And it was like, and the same thing was what they said with Ruth. Oh, it was a feel good. It made everybody feel good. But making everybody feel good, that's the same thing that church does. When you go to church, what happens at church? You feel good for a little while, and then later on, you don't feel good no more, because it's just a temporary fix. And we need hard, fast cash money, and land and stuff like that. All this stuff that they do, they give us, they give us all this stuff. We couldn't even boycott the NFL. Colin Kaepernick, he kneeled, against police brutality, and what? Nobody, still everybody's still watching games, everybody's still chilling, everybody ordering a Papa John's pizza, even though these people tell you that they don't like you and they're racist, and they tell you, do what I say or else, it's a slave mentality. Break yourself of the slave mentality. What is wrong with y'all? So you mean that you can't forbear, you don't have enough forbearance, you cannot neglect yourself enough to be like, well, I'm not going to watch that because it's detrimental to me and my people. It's detrimental to me. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but what I'm saying is, look, y'all, stop doing stuff that's detrimental to you. And so everybody walking around, oh, Wakanda forever. But Wakanda is a fictitious place, and then in the next movie they destroyed Wakanda, whatever that movie, I forget the name of it, but the next movie, my son comes up to me, Dad, they destroyed Wakanda in the movie. I'm like, what? Because I don't really watch all that stuff all the time, but I'm just saying, it's like it's insane. And then y'all got Wakanda. There is no Wakanda. We need Ghana forever. We need Kenya forever. We need Togo and Benin forever. We need South Africa forever. We need Ethiopia forever. That's what we need to be saying. Forget all of that other junk, because it's nothing but something to pacify you and rock you to sleep. That's all it is. They putting you to sleep, and they're making all the money off of it. And we're happy, we're happy just to be black. I mean, really? Come on. And then we got guys out here, and I'm not saying that all of the entertainment people and all of the people that are in athletics, are not trying to do good things. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, look, we got scholars. We got, look at all the HBCUs. How many people have graduated from HBCUs? How many people? We got accountants, we got lawyers, we got doctors, we have engineers, we have everything that we need. Okay. And so now, and it's crazy. So just like the comparison with Roots, to Black Panther, it's the same thing. Okay, they get us all riled up, they get us all excited, but we didn't get nothing from it. All we got was a feel good. We got, and that's the same thing. That's why they want you to be involved in church, and they want you to be involved in Jesus. They want you to be involved in all that stuff. You know why? Because it makes you feel good and it pacifies you. They want you to be on drugs. They want you to be on alcohol because it pacifies you. It just pacifies you. It doesn't solve anything. It solves no problem. The same thing with the movie, the same thing with music and all of that. That's all it does. It pacifies you. You sit in front of the TV, you get beer, whatever you do, however you do it, you smoke a joint, you smoke a blunt. I guess it's blunts now. Back when I was young, it was different. But I'm just saying, it's like, what are you doing? Because and then they take our inventions, the cell phone, and I had this guy come on my, on this thing and be like, telling me like all these other people invented the stuff that Africans invented. They didn't invent the cell phone, the circuit, electronic circuits, the radio, all of these things. Yeah, the Europeans took credit for it. They filed patents for it, but they didn't invent it. Even the light bulb, and I tell people this all the time, there are hieroglyphs in the pyramids showing how to create and make a light bulb. But yet and still, Edison has, or one of them guys has the patent. And he didn't even invent the light bulb. His African assistant invented the light, made it work. He never made it work. But yet and still, they're making billions of dollars. Everybody got light bulbs in their house. Everybody, the air conditioner. Name me the top 3 black air conditioning companies, the top 3 African air conditioning companies. We invented air conditioning. We invented the refrigerator. We invented all of it. But okay, yeah, you can sit up in the air conditioning and everything, but we invented it. That's us. That's our money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, Wakanda forever. Forget that. Wakanda ain't ours. Wakanda belongs to Hollywood. Wakanda is getting some Europeans paid, not you. How much of that money, they made like $1 billion off of that movie. How much of that money went to, to third world African countries that Donald Trump sits up there and talks about and calls, holes in the wall and all of this kind of stuff. Even to the point we're talking about, cities like Baltimore and stuff like that now. But why is it? It's because the money is not being infused back into our areas. They were talking about how most of the men in Chicago, where we have fratricide going crazy, most of the men there don't have jobs. But yet and still, all of that money was made, but none of it ever trickled down. The Ronald Reagan trickle down effect, the Reaganomics. they still doing that. They say, well, give us all the money, and then some of it, we have it all. That's what the tax cut was about. And the Democrats, listen, y'all, listen. The Democrats voted for the tax. The only piece of legislation that really went through Congress the whole time that Donald Trump has been in office is that tax cut. And they all agreed on it. It went through so fast, it made your head swim. And now we are $22 trillion in debt. You can't give all the money back and then expect for you not to be in debt, because you still got expense. It's economics. It's cut and dry. You take money from one place and it goes to another place, then the place that you took it from suffers. It's economics. It works that way. It's scientific. It's not nothing, it is not gonna change. And so when everybody says, oh, we got to make sure that, that no, we don't, because you're not going to get that money because you're not being smart. And the same thing is true with politics. We got to start being smart. We got to have an agenda, and we got to push that agenda. And if people don't want to be involved in our agenda at all, then we don't need to give them our votes. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. And they're going, because they're going to do the same thing. The only difference between Donald Trump and Barack Obama is that Donald Trump is stupid and says what he wants to say out loud. Out loud. That's the difference. He says it out loud, even though, he says what he thinks out loud. And see, most politicians don't do that. They don't say what they don't say what they're thinking out loud and get themselves in trouble. And that's the difference. Donald Trump just has no tact. He doesn't have, he's not a tactful person. He has no understanding of anything that has to do with being tactful or having some type of protocol. He doesn't have that. He's basically a Neanderthal. I mean, if you really want to, when it comes down to his people skills and his personal skills. All right. But, he who has the gold rules. So if you got a lot of money, then you can get away with doing that. All right. So you got to make sure, realize where all this money is going, just like all the money that go, and then what we don't realize, we are the world's biggest consumers. That's the other thing. We're out here, and for them to try to tell us that we're a minority or whatever, well, guess what? There are not more Europeans than there are Africans. There are not. Stop believing it, because it's just something that gets the hype up in your mind. But there are not more Europeans than there are Africans. No way, shape, form, fashion, or whatever. The only difference is that they have the money and resources necessary to do things. That's the only difference. Other than that, there's no difference. There really isn't. And what we have to do is we have to start taking the things that we invent and that we do, and what do we have to do?